There are 160 million people in the American workforce. 2/3 of them do not have a college degree. Half of those say that they wish they did. They wish they had some type of credential. That means we have 50 million adults in this country who the promise of the American dream didn't come to them. Instead, what we got as a country is $1.7 trillion in student debt, much of which is held by people who didn't finish the degree that they started.
The US workforce is either stagnant, shrinking, or growing slowly. The workers that you need are not simply going to be in the places that you've looked, the communities that you've recruited from. You've exhausted those. So now you need to look in communities that you haven't looked in before. So these are communities of color, these are women, these are folks in rural communities, from low-income communities.
We've got a really challenging time in our healthcare workforce, and the shortages that we're experiencing are truly at a crisis level.
There are 11 million skilled vacancies in the United States workforce. We believe every single one of those could be filled by a talented person who is currently locked out of our labor market. That's why we're launching the National Center for the Apprenticeship Degree.
We've always had this historic separation of work-based learning and quote-unquote higher learning. I think one of the things that we have to grow and change from in America is that we make those two discrete things, and it makes people make a choice that they shouldn't have to make.
Latinos are actually, unfortunately, faced with a pretty significant gap in terms of college credentials. The choice between a job and school is dramatic.
We have labor shortages in the same places where we have people who could fill those jobs if only they didn't have to make that same choice between a job and a degree. I think we as a country have to imagine a world where that is not a choice anyone has to make. Imagine a world instead where you could turn your job into a degree instead of the other way around. That is what the National Center for the Apprenticeship Degree is here to do.
Oh, when I was a little girl, Helena was just amazing. Anything you wanted was down on that Cherry Street strip. That chemical place closed, and Bobby Brooks, the clothing company, closed, and people lost jobs. Some people had to move away. All of those things are gone now. Buildings are empty. Buildings look condemned. There is nothing here. I am Towanna Edwards. I am the administrative assistant at Great Rivers Educational Co-op. I'm here every day from 8 to 4, and then I leave here and go to the Boys and Girls Club from 4 to 7. My journey on becoming a teacher, I wanted to be a speech pathologist. My mother got sick. My father called and said I needed to come home, and that I could attend the university here. Mother would get sick, I would have to withdraw from school. Mother would get sick, I would miss school 2 years. So it just went on and on and on until she passed away. It's just been a long journey. This is not even what I expected for my life, to be a single parent. And my kid's father being incarcerated and no child support or any of those things coming in. And so I knew that a 4-year institute would not work for me and my children at this point in my life. In a traditional teaching program, you know, you have to work a whole year for free. I just couldn't afford it. But I am a believer that everything happens for a reason, because then Reach just dropped in my lap 2 years later. At $78 a month, you get a 4-year degree. And I decided I'm going to do it. It works. Job-embedded learning, job-embedded training is the best thing ever. You're gonna use my job and its hours towards my student teaching. I'm getting credit for my degree, and this is how it should be. And I'm getting paid. It is affordable, and it works with my life. I do think that Reach Apprenticeship has the capability to cover more than just teaching. Wouldn't it be so great to allow these people to get this training and still get paid? Oh, it would be a whole new world. It would change thousands of people's lives, if not more. I feel like I'm gonna be phenomenal when I graduate. I have 1 year and 1 semester left to go. I'll be teaching school.
We have 300,000 teacher vacancies. We have 1 million nursing vacancies. We have 10 to 12 million vacancies in advanced skilled jobs. That's the problem we're looking at. And it's really ironic that we haven't solved it, because it's a problem with the solution sitting right in front of us.
In some of our earliest partnerships, we're seeing that people going through apprenticeship degrees from these dramatically underrepresented backgrounds are persisting through their apprenticeship degrees and earning the same degree credential at higher persistence rates than middle and high socioeconomic group students in traditional university pathways.
When we look at that access to education, we also see an apprenticeship degree as a great way to build the next generation workforce and actually have the workforce look like the patients that they serve.
My message to CEOs today is that talent in any business is central to that business success. And by doing apprenticeships, job-embedded degrees, enables you to compete in a way that you can't otherwise.
You can leave an apprenticeship degree with no debt, with a job offer, and with a degree that you can take anywhere else that you want. That's the future that I know I want for my kids, and I think it's the future that we want for all of our kids.
We have the places where people can attain the education and skills and the pieces of paper they need to reach their full potential. We have the people who are already living in the places where there's jobs waiting for them. If we can just rearrange these deck chairs, we can actually achieve really kind of a much better country for ourselves, and one that delivers on the American dream for many more Americans than ever before.